Okay. Should be live. Just gotta wait for it to pop up. Make sure it's muted. We are up. Okay. Oh man. Oh man. We did it, guys. We did it. Oh, hello. And I guess welcome to the first ever Gray with the Shade podcast. This is episode 1 and it's going to be an interesting time. I hope to have a better setup at some point. At the moment this is the best I can do without having to show my face because I don't want to do that yet. I may some point. I may. But at the moment I feel comfortable at least talking again and sharing my voice, which will definitely change um a lot more probably later on. I'm only almost 3 months on testosterone, so we're slowly getting there. Um, I don't really feel like I need to introduce myself too much. But I'm Gray, also known as Gray as a color. It's why I kind of chose the name Gray with the Shade for a podcast name. I thought it'd be funny. I don't know. Um, I'm gonna fix something really, really quick with my VR model, so just you're gonna see. Let me turn it off really quick. You're gonna see some settings pop up, and so I'm just gonna. It's a black screen. I know it's scary. It's scary. It's dark. You can't see. It wouldn't be a podcast if it wasn't for technical difficulties. There we go. Okay, that was all I wanted to do, and then we can just, look, see, the lights are back. The lights are back. We're okay. Nothing happened. Um, we're good. We're good. We're good. Starting to, I know. Actually, 1 second. I made one more mistake. I turned off certain settings with the model before I did all this, and now there. Okay. Okay, I fixed it. I fixed it. We're good. We're good. We do this again, and I'll bring back there. The lights are on again. Lights, camera, action. I'm so sorry, but yes. Today's gonna be an event, an event filled podcast. I think it's gonna be very interesting. I'm quickly just gonna make sure I have my second little screen up so I can watch the chat and all that good jazz. Let me also go on my personal Twitter to go see my thing. What was that? I forgot I had alerts on. Oh my god. Oh, I didn't even put them up. Huh. I should turn those off on the other screens, though. Oh, wait, no, that's gonna switch over. Oh, it's not gonna. This is gonna be a fun time. I completely forgot the alerts were on. Oopsies. Good morning. It's morning? Where are we at? Is it morning? Wow, I had no idea it was the morning time. Time zones, man, they're crazy. You know what? Just for the first one, we'll add the alert boxes. How about that? We'll do it. We'll do it. I'm okay with this. We're gonna do it. Alert box. And we'll put it right there. It might be in the way of the chat though for the other screens. We'll put it there. And there. That'll be fine. And now we're good. We're good. It's actually 6 p.m. for me. Oh, well, you lied. How dare you? Well then, good afternoon. I completely forgot to retweet it on my Twitter still. I'm very disorganized. I was not prepared for this. As anyone can see, it was very was not prepared. What? No. But yes, we're gonna be talking about corgi events because I feel like that's a very wild topic that's happening at the moment, and I find it very interesting myself. It's honestly weird what's happening with it. There's a lot of layers to the story. There's a lot of things that don't make like that are just it's wild. Like I had to look into it before I started this today, and it's completely crazy, and I have no idea what's going on. Um, all I know is that apparently this isn't the first time that possibly this guy has scammed someone, and I shouldn't say possibly. It is it. Well, no, I'm gonna say possibly, just in case. I'm not. He has scammed someone before in the past. That I can be sure about. This time I have no idea on what's happening. But we're gonna find out. Um, Honestly, let's just jump right into it because I don't think we should really hold back too much. I'm more or less for just going for it at this point. So I can make sure that's still going. And the boom, look at that. Wow. Movie magic, am I right, guys? Wow. Um Basically we're gonna be going through um all these, wonderful things about this whole event and what's going on with it. It's wild, it's crazy, it's a joyful ride. I don't even know anymore. I'm so confused again by the whole thing. And I don't know what else to say about it, honestly. It's just crazy. Um but yeah, so let's just jump right into it. So if you guys aren't aware, as of yesterday, I'm pretty sure February 9th was when these were uploaded yesterday. Yeah, February 9th, an email got sent out by Corgi dealers, aka Corgi Events. Now, if no one knows, Corgi Events pretty much helps run a lot of cons. I think Aquatifer, Denver. I think it also does Sin City Mercon, I think it is what the con was. It was a recent one that happened. I had no idea it was con until it happened. And I'm like, oh, so that's a con now too. Okay. Nothing wrong with it, of course. If anyone went to it, there's nothing wrong with that con. I just don't think personally I would go to it, but that's also just my asexuality speaking, I think. I'm sure the con's not specifically just about that, but I don't want to say too innocent, but I'm too innocent for it. Basically, this email was sent out. Now, obviously, by the looks of the email, we can already tell that it's definitely not by someone of the main team. It had to be someone else that sent it out. And it's interesting thing. So the email reads, please dealers, if you have not already paid for Denver, do not pay now. Our con owner is planning to steal money from Eventbrite, which is where you usually buy like tickets for cons and stuff. In some cases, not all of them. I find most cons you can get them off the website itself actually. But I guess for other cons, it goes through something else called Eventbrite. Eventbrite? I event I don't know. I'm gonna pronounce things wrong this whole time, and I'm fully aware of it, and I'm making everyone else aware of it. Sales, file for bankruptcy and bail. Please, if you have not already paid, don't start. If you have paid, the best I can offer is a guide on how to ask Eventbrite for your money back. Eventbrite. I'm just gonna probably keep saying things wrong, and again, fully aware of it. It's honestly gonna happen. I don't know why I can't see the chat right now on my phone. I saw someone talked in the chat and it's not popping up where I'm trying to also see it. So I'm sorry if that's happening. We could just keep going, and I wish there was more I could do other than send this email out. I'm not sure if I'll have the chance to send any more emails. I'm not sure if I'll have access to this after today. I'm incredibly sorry. I really wish I wasn't pursued to send pressured? Pressured. Pursued. Am I dumb? I might be dumb. I might be really dumb. I can't read. I'm okay. I want to make it clear. I am not diagnosed with dyslexia. However, I'm pretty sure I might have it, but I'm not about self-diagnosing, so we're not gonna get into that. Anyways, but pretty much this email got sent out, and yeah, it's it's crazy. Pretty much that they're claiming that the event organizer, the person behind Corgi Events, is thinking about stealing money. Now we're gonna get into a little bit of that in a little bit. Honestly, like this went on for a while. This person, Kiki Doodle, is this other people made I don't know how to explain this. It's just I don't know. It's crazy. This is the post I saw, at least. There was other posts by other dealers, obviously, about the email, but this is the one I saw. Like, it has like 2,000 likes and a lot of retweets, a lot of quote retweets. Anyways, the person who was behind Corgi Events, this is not it. I thought I had them up. Maybe I didn't. I'm not the smartest person by looks of it. I'm pretty sure I had all these up in order, but I guess not. So, good news is, he replied right here. So, we're just gonna go ahead and find his quote retweet right here. So, he made a quote retweet, close afterwards. Or maybe this was it. Yeah, never mind. I did have it. I'm not smart. This isn't accurate. The person just quit because I fired Koi Vixen. I have no idea who Koi Vixen is. I have no idea the story behind this or why they were fired. So I don't know. By the sounds of it, it looks like it's someone else that sent the email that wasn't Koi Vixen, but it was someone that was obviously close with the person. And pretty much, the con is / will and always will be happening. I don't know why they said that specifically on like the con will always be happening. I'm just very confused by that. I think it's because the file bankruptcy part, maybe. But I would assume the con would still happen. But yeah, so this, this is also interesting. So if you go down in the same post, I don't know who this person is, but I also have something else from them in here too. But they also got the same email, and with it, they also got another email. Now, a lot of the dealers also got this other email, and it just says, the previous email was made in a rush. I'd like to apologize. I made a false claim based on information I was given that may not be true. Please know that it was in my best interest to help dealers, as I know that at the time, I know that times have been rough. I've panicked, and to say the least, please keep an eye out for official statement from Corgi events in coming days. Thank you. Now, here's the thing. I think the person said it actually in here, too. These are obviously sent by two different people. It seems like they're claiming to be the same person. I don't believe that. I believe it is different emails. Any further concerns or questions should be forwarded to Treble, aka Corey Wood. So it's a very interesting thing that's happening. So, because it's the same emails that are in here, obviously. So whoever sent the thing, like, it's the same emails that Treble is claiming to do. I'm more than certain that Treble is the one that sent this email, even though it seems like they didn't. But I don't know. Basically, Treble never made a statement. I'm pretty sure I retweeted their thing just saying, like, to literally take a step back. Because the problem is that with their whole thing, they were replying to every single comment that was going on here. And just weren't taking a moment to take a step back, assess the situation, and make a response. Instead, they didn't. Corgi events did, which obviously is Treble as well. But most of the, I would say, drama was happening with Treble themselves. So Corgi events made a statement. This statement is so, I don't even know how to explain it. Also, if you look, like, the person's Sona here is literally the Sona for Corgi events. So it's still Treble that's making this statement. So let's be very clear. It is not a team of them, it is Treble making it. I don't know why he wouldn't use the official icon. Instead, he used his own Sona as the icon. I don't know if that's a thing he usually does. I have no idea. Basically, it says, good evening, all Corgi event attendees, dealers, artists, and staff. So here's the first problem. This is where you know he was the only one to make it, because it says I. If this was the team getting together to find a statement, which should have been done, it wasn't. It was just one person, and they go back and forth on this. So it's like, I wanted to send out a letter here to let you know about the prior email from us regarding anything involving anything monetary is I can't read, apparently. I don't know why I try. This is why I should get someone else to read these. Invalid and untrue. So they go back and forth. It says I, and then it says we. I don't understand if it's everyone talking. I don't know why my dogs are barking. My dogs bark at the worst time. Literally every single time. They bark at the worst time. They're not gonna stop. They might, actually. If it's a person walking, they'll stop. If it's a deer outside my house, they won't stop. Um, this is going great as a first podcast, isn't it, guys? This is going lovely. We're gonna ignore them for now. If they keep barking in like 5 minutes, I'll go up and just bring them down, and it'll be fine. Um, they're still going. We here at Corgi Events are in no shape or form filing bankruptcy, stealing money from the company, and we are continuing to have conventions for a minimum via or contracts for the next 3 years. So it looks like Corgi Events isn't shutting down, but there's a lot of things going on. I'm sorry, my dogs are very distracting when they're barking. I think they stopped now by the sounds of it. Um, they're still barking. I don't know. You guys can read this for yourself. It's over on the Corgi Events Twitter. It's a very interesting place. And that it would employ upwards 80K. This is grossly untrue and major exaggeration of a minor misunderstanding. I wouldn't say $80,000 is a minor misunderstanding. Another thing that I also found weird that someone actually posted is that apparently, not that just they owe $80,000, but that I think they received $80,000 or they owed $80,000 to taxes. There was a court thing that was on here. I can't find the tweet anymore. I think it's gone. I don't know where it went. It was a very interesting tweet. But basically, they say if for any reason or uncertainty has caused you any distrust, unrest, or disbelief, and you'd like to either transfer or refund your dealer's den table or artist alley badge, please email refunds. My dogs, they won't stop. Here, this is sad. This is really sad. I feel terrible that they're just barking in the background. I'm gonna go grab them, and they're gonna come downstairs, and they're never gonna go upstairs to bark at the deers again. So just un momento. This is a very un moment. I gotta get a. I'll be right back. Okay, we're fine. We are fine. That was just a momentary. It's what you get for living with two dogs, and you live in the woods, and they like to bark at things like deers that like to come in your yard. um, very fun times when you live out in the woods with the foxes and the rabbits and the deer. The deer just love to come down. Um, but yeah, so this was Corgi Events response. They did say they email refund at corgievents.org. Now just remember that. Remember that email. Just imprint it in your brain. Refunds at corgievents.org. This was in their official statement that they easily could have taken down and re-uploaded, right? It's still up. I'm on it right now. I can refresh this. And it's still there. It's still the same statement, right? The email's not accurate. So, apparently they gave people the wrong email address. People started obviously tweeting about it again because now they're like, what's happening with this? Treble, not Corgi Events again, sorry, Treble, their personal account, went on to say, one second, I'm gonna get rid of the little, we don't need that. I made a mistake with that. They messaged this person. I don't know if they messaged everyone that pointed this out, but they messaged this person at least and said, just need to do .com, apologies for the error. So let me make it clear. I'm gonna go on their thing, and they never made a statement saying publicly that the email was wrong anywhere. This is the only two tweets they made about the subject. Um, they literally said nothing about it, which is really not professional. I think if I go to Corgi events, I don't think they also did not correct the record unless they put it in the comments, which it's also not here. And they're not replying to, yeah, it's .com, as funny as it is. So he's providing the wrong email, not making a public statement about how the email's wrong, but is replying to very few comments about it when people are bringing up other stuff. It's so unnecessary, and it's so not professional. If you are running this organization, you should be making sure that you're providing the proper things. And this, obviously, the statement was rushed. It was put out the same day, which, I mean, did they need a statement put out? Yes. Did they need it exactly in a day? No. They definitely could have took a day or two. Um, oh my god, wait. Hold up. It wasn't gone. This was the $80,000 I was talking about. Apparently there's a whole case filed, so I'm assuming they filed it, tax warrants, and it was for Corey Woods, and it was $86,556 and 80 something cents. It looks like 80 something cents. But um they basically, Corey got $80,000 at the moment. I don't know why. Just has $80,000. But yeah, again, there's nothing about how the email's wrong anywhere unless they put it somewhere else, which they didn't. They have not replied to anyone's comments. Actually, that's a lie. The person who ran the server left on the shutdown the servers, the websites. The website is being restored. Also, the website was down. So you have the website that was down, the email that's wrong. The email's not the proper email, obviously, because, you know, people are trying to get on it. Multiple people are. And so basically they willingly gave out the wrong email. Definitely doesn't seem like a scam at all, guys. Totally not. It's not a scam. They swear. Then there was this tweet I also saw, that I'm so confused. We all quit Corgi events because this dude essentially took 80 grand from Koi Vixen, which is the person that put out, or not the person that put out the tweet, but someone else put it out on their behalf. Fired them and ran with it. The entire company is falling apart because he refuses to act like an adult and essentially force someone else to run his convention while he's off drunk. So this is, I highly recommend going to this person's Twitter and reading the whole thing. It is like, it's so insane on what's happening. And it's just, oh, also there's memes. This was the next part I was getting into. I highly recommend watching this YouTube video by World in Review. Sorry. They made a thing, it's back in 2018, but that's when this happened, about Corey, aka Trouble, the same lad, the same person, Pocket Trouble, that runs Corgi events and claims that they haven't taken any money. Same person. Yeah. They stole 40K from Lemon Brat in the past. So this isn't their first time stealing money, so it would not surprise me if it happened again. But basically, Corey Wood, aka Trouble Corgi, which is obviously both their names on Twitter and on other disputes and everything, was caught stealing over 40K from Lemon Brat and also was asked to step down from all his conventions he was running. Investigation is still going on, and basically they made a little meme out of it, and I find it hilarious. But I believe it did go to court and it did get settled because it was back in, I think the video was made in 2018. Yeah, 2018. So I would hopefully say that about, 4 years later that the case was settled. I don't know how it was settled or anything, but Lemon Brat did make a tweet. Thankfully, World in Review showed the tweet, and I'm so happy for that because I was not gonna go back 4 years to try and find it. But Lemon Brat basically made a statement saying, as of Wednesday, November 28th, we are no longer affiliated with Corey Wood / Trouble. He no longer works with us. If he was your contact for orders and you have inquiries about your order, please contact us directly at Lemon Brat. And they gave their thing or contact bits via Telegram. So Lemon Brat, I think, handled that pretty professionally in that case. But yeah, they stole $40,000 from Lemon Brat. So I find it very interesting, is all I'm gonna say. That some miracle somehow this man, this legend, this treble did not somehow steal money. He hasn't really said again anything publicly. The only thing he was like, oh, like I wish you didn't delete our like Try Vixen, I wish you didn't delete our conversations. Um, one thing I want to say about this is that I didn't see it anywheres. Yeah, I believe you for $86,556.85. I'm sorry. Um, Man, I would love to talk to this guy. In all honesty, I really would like. I would love to be able to get in contact with this guy and have a conversation about it to find out what he's gonna say. Because he obviously didn't say anything publicly too much, and the only few things he did say was just about how apparently Chai deleted their conversation, which I mean, it looks like Chai was texting enough without a response. So I don't blame Chai for deleting the conversation probably after that, because if you're not going to respond, what's the point of having a conversation? It's literally like talking to a brick wall. So I don't really see the case of like, needing the conversation for them. But I mean, obviously something else could have happened in it. But to for Chai to send this many things and never get a response is pretty wild. Pretty interesting, buddy. Pretty interesting. Omnum also made a tweet as well. I haven't really fully read this one. I figured I would wait for everyone to, be here to, witness it together as like a family, right? But yeah, so Corey Wood, aka Trouble, come on, I know I fucked up, by hiring Koi, but it's such an interesting thing. Basically he just lied. He lied about the money. He stole from Lemon Brat, and it's just, I don't know. Part of me wants to read these and part of me just doesn't. And it looks like he's still typing. So, oh yeah, also let's be clear about this. So obviously he can type back. So I don't know what was happening with Chai and why Chai wasn't getting a reply. But yeah, it's interesting. Um this is so interesting. I'm sorry. I am reading them very slowly. Problem is I'm scared to read out loud because obviously I don't read properly for some reason. This one thing though, you did ask even Braid to Sable and I at MFF about how Lemon Brat didn't catch all the money you stole from them and that most of it wasn't cash. And he literally says they are, I admit that, but come on, I'm trying. Everything and every time I'm trying to do better. If you were trying to do better, you would not have been bragging about it at a con. Like, why would you even do? I don't even understand that. What is the point of bragging about it at a con if you're not proud of it? It just makes sense. Basically, I'm just gonna say it. The guy's an idiot. I have no problem saying the guy's an idiot. He obviously can't keep his story straight. He obviously doesn't know what the hell he's going on about. And this is basically all I can say at this point is stay away from him. I think he's a very dangerous person. I think he will try to steal from you, and I don't think I think until he can get, if he's innocent. I'm going to say if cuz I'm not going to say he is cuz I personally, speculation, I don't think he is. I definitely think he was doing something sketchy in the background with money or trying to take the money. But um until he comes out with a statement showing all the evidence about everything, um, then I would feel better, but he hasn't. Um, I don't know. It's just I don't believe him. I can't because he's already stolen before, and then with these accusations and with the lack of evidence from his behalf, it's pretty outstanding. Um, but yeah, so that's pretty much what's happening at Corgi events. He's it's just I can imagine he's probably, just at home right now and he's probably just big sad about everything. Cause what else can you do? You got caught. Can't say much else, honestly. It's just I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just not much else you can really say about that. It's man, it's just wild. The whole Corgi event thing, man. It's just I just don't understand how it got that bad. Oh, anyways, we're not gonna stay on this topic the whole time, obviously. We are gonna talk about other things. Um Other things I wanted to talk about, um I guess it's more related to FE than it is anything else, but I definitely wanted to talk about I want to talk about COVID a little bit and about FurCons. Just a little bit. Um I honestly, COVID's a serious thing, and I want to make that very clear. I do believe people should be vaccinated, or should get the vaccine if they are able to get the vaccine. I'm fully aware some people can't get the vaccine, and that is fine if you can't get it. Like obviously it's not your fault. You can't get it. I know some people who are taking like coma treatments and everything, and they can't get it because it might affect their coma. Not chemo. Sorry, I said coma. Oh my god, their chemo treatments. So I completely understand it. Um, but yeah, cons are happening during the pandemic, which I think honestly are fine. I think it's fine. I do think that we should be able to try and get back to the normal at some point, because obviously, a vaccine that's like, say, like the polio vaccine, but for COVID, that kind of vaccine's not going to be made for a while. The vaccines that we obviously are getting now in the boosters are temporary to kind of try and put a handle on things at the moment, because obviously you can't do a whole lot. Um, it's not the flu. I want to make that very clear as well. When I make this next statement. The reason why I believe it's going to take so long for a vaccine to come out is that although medicine obviously has advanced very, very much since all these other vaccines have been made that, you get when you're kids and everything, it's because doctors have literally said that COVID is it has flu-like symptoms, and it is built like a flu, but it is not the flu because of how widely it spreads and how deadly it is. And you can see that in the case numbers. Like 5 million people in the world have died at this point. And I can tell you from the flu, not that many people die from the flu. People do die from the flu, 100%, but not that many. And I do think COVID's a serious thing. But there's a whole thing going on right now that I'm assuming, I'm speculating here, is the reason why FE's not making a statement about if the con is fully happening until the week of February 14th. And I think it's because, from what I saw, at least, is some people were not happy that FE was happening. They felt it was unsafe because of the Omicron variant, and I don't know. I'm honestly, Ontario's opening up to the point where they can allow the con to happen. So I think the con should be allowed to happen, in my opinion. I think as long as people are going that are vaccinated, and as long as you wear a mask and you distance and you sanitize and you just take rapid tests before going to the con and after the con, or even during the con, honestly, if you can, then I think you'll be fine. And you may get COVID, obviously, but you may get COVID from anywheres. Like recently, I just got COVID at my work site. Everyone on my work site got it, so it was inevitable that I was gonna get it at that point. But you can get it from anywheres. And the other thing is that also people are acting as if we're not allowed to do anything during this pandemic, that we literally can't do anything at all. I understand restrictions, and definitely restrictions are needed when they are needed. So obviously, when Omicron first broke out and cases were skyrocketing, restrictions got put in place, and they 100% needed to be. But now that more people got vaccinated, more people got their boosters, and Omicron cases have gone down, and we've kind of scoped over the hill, and we're going down now. that we can start opening up again, like we've always had with every other variant that's come out when the beginning of COVID happened. And so I do believe cons should be able to happen. I do believe FE Fernal Equinox is safe enough to happen. It's in Toronto, and I think the max it's had maybe was 2,500 people. I think. The year I went, I think it was almost 2,500. It was 2,500, and that was in 2019. So something to also keep in mind is that TFF is the same weekend. So obviously a lot of people that are from the States that would go to FE are no longer going. They're gonna go to TFF because they want to stay in the same country, which I think is completely, honestly, like, that's a good idea. I don't blame anyone from the States from coming to FE either. Like, honestly, you're allowed to travel, do it. It's okay. But there's not gonna be that many people at FE. They're never even gonna reach 50% capacity at that con. And I don't know. I saw some people throwing a stink about FE happening, and I was so confused. Because they were just like, it's unsafe. It shouldn't happen. Meanwhile, Omicron was a thing when MFF happened, and MFF had 9,000 people, I think. It's like 8,900 or something, right? Almost 9,000? They had 9,000 people go to that con during Omicron, and that was okay. And that was like the peak of it. But FE's not allowed to happen. Can someone tell me how that makes sense? And like, obviously I'm not trying to compare the States to Canada, but COVID in the States has definitely been a lot worse than it has been in Canada. I think we can definitely agree on that with the statistics and the stance and everything on that. So I don't understand the fight with that either. I also haven't seen anyone throwing a stink about TFF other than the law that is in Texas right now that I think, if I read about it properly, which, you know, maybe I should go to read about it one more time to make sure that I'm, because I'm pretty sure, Texas Furry Fiesta? Pretty sure I spelled that right. Maybe not. Ba-ba-bum. So I did look it up right, but nah, for some reason I can't find it. 1 second. That's so weird. I can't find it. 1 second. I'm trying to find their Twitter, but the problem is because this, okay, maybe I spelt it wrong. Because this is a new Twitter account, I don't have anything. So it's definitely taking a while for me to find other people's accounts again. So I'm terribly sorry about that. Why can't I find Texas? Like, TFF does have a Twitter. Am I wrong? Does TFF not have a Twitter? How's your day going? My day's going good. I'm trying to find TFF's Twitter to read if they had a statement. Oh, Furry Fiesta. Found it. Found it. Okay. I'm pretty sure they made a statement about the vaccination requirements, because apparently Texas made it. Texas is a lovely place. Texas made it so you didn't have to be vaccinated and didn't have to wear a mask, I think, to go to events. So obviously TFF had to make a statement about this and how implying the following policies. Yeah, proof of a negative PCR or other lab test admitted on or after Tuesday, March 15th, 2022, or proof of vaccination, minimum 2 shots. Okay, so they are allowed to ask for proof of vaccinations. Masks will be required in the common areas of the hotel. So yeah, so basically TFF can still put its own things in place. Okay. I wasn't sure if that was still a thing or not, that they could. But yeah, so to continue on the subject of COVID, I do believe COVID's a serious thing. And I do believe that we all should do our parts in trying to maintain it as much as possible. However, it's also at a point where it's been 2 years of dealing with this, and you know, obviously no one's been able to go to cons, see their friends, go back to life. And who's to say how long this is gonna last? This is gonna last forever, I think, in my opinion. It's never gonna go away. For a good vaccine to, not, I wouldn't say a good one. The ones we have now are good, but for a more effective one to make it so Either we don't get it or we do get it, but obviously we have no symptoms like the polio vaccine and everything. Um, I think until we get a vaccine like that, we're gonna be stuck in this cycle where we have to kind of deal with it as it goes. There's not much else we can really do. Um, as sad as that is, it's just kind of how it is. And so I'm at a point where if I'm allowed to travel and if the restrictions are allowing me to travel safely and everything, as long as I'm vaccinated and trying to stay safe, I don't see a problem with doing it, and I don't see a problem with going to cons. Um, because it's that, or everyone's gonna live in their homes for say 5 or so years, not be able to do anything. Mental health is gonna go so far down, which it already has from all this. And I personally don't see a problem with cons happening. I don't know why some people do, but I don't. I think it's fine. I'm noticing I'm blinking a lot, so I'm terribly sorry. I might turn off the blinking on this again. I turned it on. I might turn it back off. My dog just opened my door a crack, and I'm just staring at him right now. This intense staring. Hi, are you Loki or are you Mac? Which one are you? They're not poking their head the rest of the way, so I have no idea. um, I don't know what other topics I really had. Oh, it's Loki. No, you can't. No, you can't be in here, babes. I know. I love you. You know I do. Yes. Thank you for the kisses. No, that doesn't mean you're welcome to come in. No, back out. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up. Nope. Gotta love dogs, guys. Gotta love dogs. Um, um, yeah. I didn't have a whole lot of plans for this podcast. I mostly had plans for the Corgi event thing. I made sure I had all my stuff kind of detailed in there. And other than that, it was kind of just going with it and winging it. Um, but yeah. I definitely would say something else I want to talk about. Fucking Blair White. So I want to make this clear. This podcast series is not specifically going to be only furry stuff. It is literally going to be anything. It can literally be any sort of like anything happening. So like obviously Blair White is a very like controversial like figure right now. Um, she's something else, man. She made a video reacting to a Dr. Phil segment. And I don't know how, as herself, as a trans person, she could somehow not see the difference between sex and gender. It's so, I don't even know. From what I can tell from videos I saw, Blair White is very, I wouldn't say very much, but she does not think non-binary is essentially a thing, and that most people who come out as non-binary are trans trenders. I don't know. And she also thinks that mental illness plays a big role in a lot of the people coming out as non-binary. I feel like every one of her videos I've seen, or she always makes a statement on how like they have this mental illness or this mental illness or they have this problem and that's why. And it's like no, like you can have a mental illness and still be non-binary or trans. It doesn't affect who you are. In some cases it can, like say like I guess in some cases it can, but not in all the cases that Blair White somehow seems to cover with non-binary people. Um, I think it's very misconstrued. Um, she doesn't seem to see them as people, and it's very odd. That or she's also against other trans people. So I don't even understand how it's possible, but basically if they don't look like her, they're not trans is basically her kind of statement that I tend to see is whenever she looks at other trans women, she always either picks at their appearance and everything, being like, now if you were a trans woman, you would do this and you would do that. And that's like so it's so terrible. Like I can't even describe how horrible that is for her as a public figure with 1 million subscribers to be saying that kind of stuff. Um, she defends J.K. Rowling as well, who's transphobic, in my opinion. So she defends her. she got J. Marie Kroc's whole story wrong, saying how she was a trans woman competing in women's leagues, and how that was completely wrong because she was a bodybuilder before and all this stuff. And it was completely not, it was not fact, it was completely wrong. J. Marie Kroc never competed in women's league. I think the few leagues that she competed in were either specifically actually male leagues, believe it or not, or they were LGBTQ or trans leagues. They were not women's leagues. And it's almost like, damn, bro, she's checking all the. I know, she's checking all the boxes. She's a. Blair White is just. I didn't realize that a trans person could somehow be transphobic. And it's so like beyond me that it's happened. I don't even understand it still. It's just so crazy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, man. I just don't know. I don't know. Um, there's a lot of problems with Blair White. I want to see actually if I can pull up her video here. Um, I wonder if I can. Blair White. Yeah, she's against. Also, she went after Demi Lovato recently too. Now, obviously, apparently Demi Lovato is friends with someone that might be controversial. She's going for the transphobic high score. Literally, yes. Okay. Yeah, so, but, what was I gonna say? Yeah, she's going after Demi Lovato for being non-binary and saying how she's, or they, sorry. I accidentally just misgendered, Demi Lovato. I'm actually terribly sorry. I'm too used to it. But Blair White is basically saying how they are doing it as a trending thing, which Blair basically said, like, oh, as long as you cut your hair short and do this, like, you're non-binary. And it's like, no, that is not what makes a non-binary person. Not all non-binary people have short hair. It doesn't matter what you look like. If you want to identify as non-binary, that is your decision for your identity. It doesn't matter how you look. If you want to identify as non-binary, you shouldn't have to cut your hair or you shouldn't have to wear a binder or stuff like the stereotypical non-binary person looks. And I am going to say, like, yes, most non-binary people do cut their hair short or wear binders or something like that, but not all of them do. No. Some non-binary people don't wear binders at all. Some non-binary people don't cut their hair at all. You don't have to do those to be non-binary. But that is what Blair White basically says all the time. And it's so hypocritical and I just don't understand it. She even went on a thing, it was like LGBTQ community debate, and there's this one person in there that was non-binary, and Blair White pretty much just said like, I don't understand it, and so for that I don't support you and I don't support non-binary people. Is pretty much like what she said. Don't quote me on it. It's been a while since I watched the video, but that's pretty much like what she was going for, and I find that so horrible. Because it's like, in my opinion, you don't have to understand something to respect it. And obviously, Blair White just doesn't do that. And it's so. I don't know. I want to see if I can find that one segment. Actually, I might have found it, in all honesty. Uh, oh no, sorry. This is actually her. No, this might be it. Hold up. I might have found the video. It's just gonna take me a moment to see if it's the right one. Let me just make sure my desktop audio is gone so I can double check it. Gonna quote you on it. Don't quote me on it. Well, don't understand her stupidity, but here we are. I honestly, it's so. Sometimes it just gets to be too much. I think this is really loud. Okay, good. You can't hear the desktop. I'm trying to find the clip. So cause I do want to play it. I do want to make sure I'm right about this. Let me see. I don't know where it's at. Hmm. All I know is that she almost made the person cry, and the person was very upset by it, and it's so I don't know. I'm trying to find the clip now. I don't know where the clip is. I know it was this kind of thing. Oh, oh, here it is. I think I found it. It was about okay, I remember it now. It was about non-binary being under the trans umbrella. Um, and honestly, I believe non-binary is under the trans umbrella. I have a couple friends who are fans of hers, and it's a bit frustrating because I get she can have some good points in some topics, but some shit she says is just so shitty and misleading. 100%. I agree. She does say some really valid points sometimes. I used to watch her. I used to be a Blair White fan. I will say that right here and now. I used to be. But remember, I say the word used. I am not at all like okay with Blair White like anymore. Here I did find the video and I did find the clip. It's around here. It's about non-binary being under the trans umbrella. Personally, I believe non-binary is under the trans umbrella. Um, I also believe gender fluid is like anything with gender identity crisis. I think all falls under the trans umbrella, and so like, and I mean that as a trans umbrella. So even with that, there's different things. So there's obviously the transgender, transsexual, non-binary, gender fluid, and all that kind of stuff, and it's all under the same umbrella in my opinion. And this is I guess talking about it, and I think this is the clip. Oh wait, I forgot. There we go.
I believe non-binary is under the trans umbrella. Non-binary for me means that I don't identify as a man or a woman. I'm neither. I am both. I am beyond. And that has nothing to do with my body. My body does not inform my gender.
I completely reject how non-binary people specifically have injected themselves into the trans label, because at the end of the day, I'm sure you're an amazing person. You and I have wildly different experiences. I am a transsexual. There's a medical basis for that. There's a scientific basis for that. And for non-binary, it's really not the case. I think that non-binary is more of a political term than anything else, which is why I've never met a non-binary Republican, non-binary libertarian. It's clearly an invention of the left in general. I also hate how non-binary people often, because they tend to be the loudest politically, they take over trans conversations. I often see non-binary people in the media and on YouTube and on social media deciding what is right for trans people and transsexuals, and I hate it because oftentimes it's not in alignment with most trans people I've actually met in my life.
So do you feel racist?
So that was one of her statements during that video, and it's just like it is a bra moment. I 100% bra moment. I just realized I'm on Twitch, so you can see my Twitch twice. I'm very new to doing all of this. I can safely say that I want to smack her with a newspaper. You know what? I would be down for smacking her with a newspaper, honestly. um, but yeah, I don't understand her standpoints on that. I do believe non-binary people should be allowed in the media. I do believe they should be able to talk about some trans matters. Um, like I don't understand what she was trying to get at with it. Um, like non-binary people have every right as everyone else to be in media and everything else, and trans people also are in the media, so I don't know why she didn't touch on that. She says like non-binary people are doming media recently, and it's like no. Like I don't think they are. Personally, I find she just says things that she can. She lies a lot also about the J.K. Rowling book. She claimed that she read the book in 12 hours. As or like as an audiobook is what she said. Sorry. In her first video. And she said that the book there was only one line in the book that apparently was transphobic. No, there was multiple lines in that book that were transphobic by J.K. Rowling. And it's just anyways, then she made a new video apologizing, and she's like, you know, like overnight shipping and blah blah blah, and it's like overnight shipping. You said it was an audiobook. So she didn't read the book, by the way. She didn't. She just basically made a judgment call that J.K. Rowling was not transphobic when, in reality, J.K. Rowling is 100% transphobic, in my opinion. Non-binary mostly being in the media because it is one of the most blown up into the into a book. Yeah, so that's the thing, is that non-binary is a very, I find it's not specifically new. It's just something that is newly more normalized, I would say. It wasn't really normalized before. No one really understood what non-binary was, but it's someone just that basically doesn't identify with a gender. And I find a lot of like people identify with that because obviously, like, even myself, when I was trying to figure out myself, I'm still kind of, it's complicated. It's very complicated. Gender is very complicated, and it's not the same as your sex. Gender is different. Like biologically, I will always be female, and I'm gonna say that. I always biologically will be, and nothing can change that. But that doesn't mean it's the same as my gender. My gender, I don't know still. I always say I'm trans, and I feel definitely more masculine. I okay with he and they pronouns. But it's because I'm okay with he and they pronouns, I don't know why I have this mindset that being a guy, like being a male, scares me for some reason. And I don't know why. So I feel very comfortable being able to be in this little middle ground of like definitely being masculine and presenting more as a guy, but not 100% wanting to also be a guy. So I'm definitely in the non-binary trans area. That's always where I feel like I will be at. Um, and that's okay. I think non-binary is a very wide spectrum. I think the trans umbrella is a very wide spectrum. I think you can be whoever you're comfortable with being. Like there's nothing wrong with it. Same with gender fluid. Like literally, I see so much dislike about people who are gender fluid. And people are just like, pick one. It's not that easy. And it's not like one day they feel like a female and one day they feel like a male. Like it doesn't work that way either. It's they just feel all the genders, and like gender fluid is literally like they can dress more feminine one day and dress more masculine one day, but like it's, I don't know, I don't want to speak on gender fluid behalf because obviously I don't know, I'm not gender fluid, I don't fully understand it myself, I have to look more into it, but I accept anyone for whoever they want to identify as. Blair White also is very like, there was another video she made actually, and it was reacting to someone else's thing who was non-binary. And before she even, like, she cut out this person's part where they gave their pronouns, by the way, in the video. And basically, she's like, you're not gonna throw some random pronoun like Z or Zer and tell me to call you that. And it's like, first of all, if they did want you to call them, like, use the pronoun Z and Zer, just use it out of respect. Like, I just use it as respect. You don't have to understand it to respect it. That is all it comes down to. She may not understand it, she may not be okay with it, but just respect their pronouns, and I don't think there would be a problem. Like, obviously, a lot of people don't understand non-binary or trans people, and that is, like, I wouldn't say completely fine, but I know some people are from older generations or more religious, and so they may not fully grasp the concept or fully be okay with it. But I think as long as they respect people and respect their pronouns and what they want to go by, I don't think there's a problem, in my opinion. As long as you respect people for being who they are, then that's all it should come down to. But yeah, I think there's more about this topic actually, so let's keep watching this.
No one can erase me. Like I'm here. You know what I mean? But I mean, in terms of them taking over the conversation, oftentimes yes. I think of a lot of the reasons why conservatives and people who are not in the LGBT community have a hard time understanding trans people. It often goes down to these talking points that were invented by non-binary people and people who are not trans, who their lived experience could not be any more different than mine. And so if it comes down to conversations about trans people, I just wish actual transsexuals were having them, and oftentimes it's activists who are non-binary.
I don't understand your argument that there's too much division, that we don't have shared life experiences, because among trans people, among binary trans people who may go through medical transition, there is so much variance. You are not a trans woman of color. You are not a poor trans woman. You have different experiences as a trans person that we need to talk about. We cannot parse out at the exact same time to have this conversation.
Yeah, everything's nuanced, but at the end of the day, there's a very fine line between someone who's a transsexual and grows up with gender dysphoria, grows up saving up that money to get the confirmation surgeries they need, going through coming out, going through the hardships that specifically transsexuals face. It is such a different life than someone who
You don't know
maybe
my life. You don't
I'm
know my
not saying
experiences with
you don't
gender
know we don't know
dysphoria.
each other's life. I'm not saying that, but but a lot of non-binary people do not. You can say you do, and that's fine. I completely believe you, but a lot of them do not. A lot of non-binary people are the people who argue that you don't need gender dysphoria to be trans. And to me, that makes absolutely no sense, because if you don't have that misalignment in your brain and misalignment in your body and within who you are, then trans really means nothing.
Well, I'm non-binary.
It's very she's an interesting person, everyone. Um what is she on about? She's basically just saying that um it's basically she doesn't understand non-binary people. And this is so I don't even know. I don't even know what she's going on about, actually, in all honesty. But basically she's saying like a lot of non-binary people basically don't have to face the real things that trans people face, which I think is actually wrong. I think it's anything non-binary people actually might face the same, in my opinion. Because being non-binary, all the time people don't understand it, so you have to try and explain to them more on what non-binary is and explain that like you just don't identify with a gender and you go by these like they them pronouns, and a lot of people will not use it, and a lot of people are not okay with non-binary people compared to trans people themselves. Like obviously, as we can see here, a trans person obviously doesn't understand it. And so it's like I find a majority of people don't understand non-binary compared to transgender, say female to male or male to female. And I think it's because it's like trans itself has always just been known as being transgender, female to male or male to female, and not really as non-binary. But now that it's also non-binary is under the umbrella, and the umbrella is so big at this point. I love it. It's to the point where like people just don't understand it at all, and either they are too scared to understand it or they don't want to understand it, and that's why it's been in the media lately. So yes, it has mostly been in the media lately because people are trying to now understand it, because they've come to not I wouldn't say come to terms, they've now understand what trans is and transgender, like FTM and MTF, but they don't understand non-binary. So yeah, of course, recently they have been in the media more because they need to understand this now. But she's taking it as like a jab, as if like they don't care about talking about trans people anymore, which I don't think is true. There are so many shows and movies and everything that have trans people in it, and I absolutely like adore it, in my opinion. And it's just there's so much representation on the LGBTQ community, and it's more normalized now, and I absolutely love it. A recent movie I actually just watched, it was called The Fallout. It's a really good movie on, I think it was Hulu. I did not watch it on Hulu. I watched it on a site. Don't call FBI on me, guys. But I watched it, and it's a really good movie, in all honesty. And it was just, it literally talked about it so quickly, I didn't even catch up on it, that one of the girl's parents were gay dads. And I didn't even catch on it, because it's so normalized now, and I love it. But it was never like this before. This took years for gays and lesbians and everything to obviously be more accepted and be more normalized. And obviously now trans people are also being more normalized, and now non-binary people are. And obviously it's climbing up the LGBTQ ladder at this point on trying to normalize it. And I think it should be normalized. Just it's hard to, obviously. But just Blair White is just, I don't understand her. Now, obviously this is back in 2019, so like people are gonna say, oh, she could have changed. Her Demi Lovato video was literally like 3 months ago, so no, she still hasn't changed, guys. I'm sorry to say, she still hasn't. You know, at the very end of 2021, she's still being like, oh, non-binary and it's a popular person, transgender. That's instantly what it comes down to for her, and it makes no sense. It's as if saying that celebrities can't come out as non-binary or trans, which is completely false. I think they should be able to. But it's because of people who say this shit that they feel like they can't. Like, it's so, anyways. But, yeah. I don't know how much more of this there is with these two talking. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot more of these two talking. Or no, it goes back and forth a little bit more by the looks of it. I don't know what this ending part is. A lot of them look like they're ganging up on Blair, which I honestly, is it sad that I say I love that? But yeah, if you look like Blair White non-binary, there's a lot of like different non-binary responding to Blair White hates non-binary people. I actually haven't watched that video. I should. It was 8 months ago, but where is her? Yeah, Demi Lovato 4 months ago. Sorry. Trans or trend hopper, which by the way, Demi Lovato didn't say that they were trans. They said they were non-binary, which obviously, yes, is under the trans umbrella. So you could say like trans or trend hopper, or I wouldn't say trend hopper. That's just the title. Sorry. You could say it's trans, but I would specifically say non-binary instead. But it's so, yeah. I just find Blair White has this concept that if you don't like her, then you're not trans. Or that you have to be in this certain image to be trans. And that there's nothing else to it, and that's all that it comes down to. If you are not... I don't know. I find she always talks about people's appearances, and they're like, oh, you don't fully look like a woman, so what do you expect people to do? And it's like, some people, Blair, don't have a YouTube channel, don't have all this money, and they can't afford the surgeries, they can't afford the estrogen, the testosterone, they can't afford it. So why is it like they need to be in this like a gingerbread layout or something like this? They need to look like certain like gingerbread people, like this cookie cutout. Sorry, I was trying to think of the word. They need to be in this like cookie cutout, or else they're not trans to her. And it's so wild, and I don't know. I don't like Blair White personally. I used to watch her, and then I realized that she was a big problem, and I don't anymore. And I'm glad I don't. There's so many other great trans people to watch out there that I just was like, I don't need to watch her. Yeah. Interesting, right? Oh man. It's been an hour. It's been an hour. We definitely have gone all over the place, I think, with this already. And that's fine, honestly. I'm still looking for any updates from this whole Corgi thing, but I'm not seeing any, so far. So it doesn't look like there's gonna be, it doesn't look like they're going to address publicly that they got the email wrong, for the refund. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't look like nothing's being done about it, and it's just so... Ugh. It's so sad. It's so... I don't even know how to explain it. Telling people they have to be in a certain way literally defeats the idea of being trans. Exactly. And same with, like, non-binary. It's like... I don't know. She's just crazy, in my opinion. She also has a really big thing about people who decide to detransition. And I don't know why that's so frowned upon. So obviously, like, some people go through with either like taking estrogen or testosterone, or going through with things to transition, and then sometime realize later on that they are not actually trans or something, and decide to detransition. I don't think that's wrong. I don't know why people do. I don't think people do it for trending reasons all the time, but some people definitely do, and I don't want to discredit that people don't. Some people do 100% do it because it's a trending thing, they think. So it's that's why the word trenders out there. But I don't believe everyone does. No, I believe some people obviously are having an identity crisis, which is fine to have, and to believe and go through with certain things and then realize later on that they aren't and decide to detransition. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You were just trying to find yourself and trying to find out who you are, and I think that is completely fine. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know why some people are just so against who detransition. I think it's okay. Like, I don't know. Like, even now, like, I'm still, like, people ask me, like, I just say trans at this point, because it's the easiest thing for me to say. Because obviously I go by he and they pronouns. I'm okay with both. It doesn't bother me. And, but obviously, like, gender-wise, if you had to put me in a certain area, I would just say in between being trans male and non-binary. I'm in that little middle ground where I'm like, I don't 100% feel male. But at the same time, I definitely am more masculine, but I'm 100% not a female. I don't associate with that gender at all. And I think it's okay to be in that middle ground. I think it's okay to find out who you are, and I think it's okay sometimes to still be unsure. Um, but like I will say that I have never felt better than when I started testosterone. Like that was the best day of my life, and it still is, honestly. Um, and I'm very happy to be able to go through with that. Um, so you're gonna have fun with a lot of voice things when my testosterone gets kicked up a little bit. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. But yeah. Oh man, hour and 10 minutes. That's actually not bad. It's not bad for a first one. Obviously, a lot of things didn't happen that could be talked about. Um, yeah, I think we talked about COVID and cons. How I do believe like cons should be allowed to happen. I'm gonna reiterate at that. I do believe cons should be allowed to happen. Um, I do think that we have to try and learn to live with COVID pretty much at this point. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I don't even know what I'm talking about, honestly. This is gonna be so weird to listen back to. Um, but yeah, so I I think we should just end it here. But yeah. I do want to thank anyone that was watching this. I did watch that. Like the average was pretty 10 or over for viewers. Like that was surprising. I was not expecting that much at all. So thank you very much for that, guys. I think that's very greatly appreciated. If you have any more inside information about the Corgi event stuff or about Blair White or anything, please do message me if you want to on Twitter, leave a comment. And if you have ideas for topics for Tuesday's podcast, let me know. I would love to get some people's insights on stuff that they would love to hear me talk about. And honestly, I don't know. I'm open to anything, and I want to make it clear. I'm not specifically here for just furry related stuff. I want to make sure that this podcast is open to anything. So it's like, say James Charles gets called out again, bitch, I'll talk about it. I will 100% talk about that the fine gentleman. If someone wants to obviously bring up the don't have cat stuff, I would love to talk about the not all the don't have cat stuff, but just the recent stuff on how they're still around for some reason. I don't know why they're still here. But yeah, definitely leave a comment and I'll make a tweet later today saying any ideas for Tuesday's podcast, and leave a comment, and I'll definitely look at it, and if it's something that I should look into, I'll definitely look into it more and have my information ready like I did with the Corgi event stuff, and I'll more than happy to talk about it. I'm literally open to anything, honestly. There's very few things I mean very few things that I won't touch on. But yeah, I think that's it. I love podcasts. I love being able to like say my opinions, I guess. But I'm also doing this so I can keep it off my main Twitter because I think I needed to take a step back from my main Twitter and keep it as happy-go-lucky. Obviously, for the first few weeks, I'm going to be advertising my podcast and advertising any posts I make on my podcast Twitter, just so I can obviously show that, hey, this is a thing, you should go check it out. But at some point I will stop doing that, or I will do it very, very rarely. And my Twitter's just gonna be very positive at this point and just try to stay away from that kind of stuff. And I'm gonna leave it on this one. So I have my own separate little section to do this stuff on. And I'm ready for people to get mad at me, honestly, at this point. I'm okay with that. But now I have to go sew 6 stripes into Gray's bodysuit on one half. The other half is not done. I wanted to get one half of his bodysuit fully done to make sure that it's gonna look okay before doing the other half. So far it's good. So I'm ready to do the other half now. And my white fox got shipped out because I made an oopsie ordering the wrong white fox for him. So don't make that mistake, everyone. One second. I think I have a happy face setting. Oh god, that's... I look like the Joker. Nah. Oh, that literally, I look like the Joker. That was scary. Guys, that was scary. That was really, really... It was scary, guys. And I didn't like it. I keep forgetting I had these faces, honestly. I just remembered now. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and sew stripes into gray and try not to die. And yeah. Thank you everyone for watching. I will be uploading this on YouTube as well. I do have a YouTube for this podcast as well, so people can watch it there if they want to. If they want to listen to my little annoying self ramble on for an hour or so. I just think podcasts are interesting. But yeah. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and be sure to have a lovely weekend. Stay safe, and if you're going to cons, wear a mask, sanitize, and be sure you're vaccinated. That's really all I can say. Have a great day, and goodbye.